Hi everyone, this is Frank Cohen of Push2Test. I'm glad to show you the new TestMaker 6 in the next 10 minutes. TestMaker is an easy means to move from manual to automated testing of Ajax and Flex web applications. It records tests in the most popular browsers, Internet Explorer, Chrome, Firefox, and Safari. It then repurposes tests to be functional tests for smoke tests, regression tests, integration tests, load and performance tests, and business service monitoring. We see a lot of problems in testing rich Internet applications that use Ajax, Flex, and Flash techniques. These applications are everywhere today. These applications introduce thousands of new objects, and the proprietary test tools that you've come to depend on require coding to recognize these objects. TestMaker 6 gives you a graphical environment for orchestrating tests. I can create a new functional test which will open a test scenario in the TestMaker editor. The editor lets me define a use case with several different steps. For example, one step could be a Selenium script. So here's the designer letting me record a test script, and of course the designer works in several different browser environments, including Internet Explorer and Chrome, Firefox, and Safari. All I have to do is tell it the starting URL. TestMaker will open the browser showing me the application under test, and then as I click through the application under test, you'll see the various different steps of that test recorded in the designer. The designer works great in Ajax environments. It recognizes thousands of new Ajax web objects. It even handles the asynchronous nature of Ajax environments. Notice that it's handling the wait commands for me. And when I'm ready to add a checkpoint to my test, all I have to do is roll the mouse over the object that I need, hold the control key down, and Designer figures out the accessor for me. Designer also features several commands to make it easy for me to debug my test scripts. For example, I can set breakpoints in the test scripts and then be able to step through the individual commands within my recorded tests. TestMaker 6 delivers the TestMaker Object Designer and Editor for easy visual record and playback of Ajax and Flex tests. We are enthusiastic participants in the Selenium project. TestMaker 6 is our contribution to make Selenium test script creation fast and easy again. For Selenium testing, we see many problems. There just aren't enough engineers available. Instead, there are plenty of testers, but those testers need a record and playback environment rather than a coding environment. We also find that the expectations of managers are just too high. I've heard managers ask me, well, why can't you produce 25 Selenium scripts in a day? We also know that data enabling tests is difficult because it requires some pretty complicated programming. And lastly, there aren't record and playback options to support the most popular browsers, including Internet Explorer or Chrome. The TestMaker Object Designer makes record and playback of Selenium tests fast and easy. The designer features all sorts of handy shortcuts. For example, we include a full reference guide to all of the Selenium commands. We also give you drop-down menus for choosing the different target locators. And the designer is multi-test type, so if you wanted to switch over to using the Sahi test language, you're welcome to do that. Just click here. You can switch back and forth from Sahi to Selenium interchangeably. Use whatever works best for your own testing. Designer even supports Selenium conditional execution, looping, and branching directly from within the designer. Designer is very powerful and easy to data enable tests. All I have to do is navigate out to, say, a CSV file. I can view the CSV file contents directly in the Data tab. And then when I'm ready to data enable my test, all I have to do is drag and drop the individual values into the test. When TestMaker plays back this test, it will read the data values from the CSV file and play the test against the application under test. It's very easy. When the time is right, I can always use Designer to export my tests into a high-level language like Java. Designer really takes testing up to a new level with the object repository. Here I can define stories and forms that are shareable among teams of testers. These test object definitions go into a repository which I can then search with future versions of TestMaker. I can even execute JavaScript functions against the current page using the Evaluate tab. Designer provides full support for the Adobe Flex automation APIs. So you can use the Designer to do record and playback of Flex and Flash-based applications. As testers, we're in a unique position in our organizations to take our test results and to make recommendations to fix performance bottlenecks and functional issues. That is, if we can explain them to our management. The problem here is that there are too many separate expensive tools for us to do our testing, and there's too much skill and experience needed to make sense of the results. Push-to-Test delivers TestMaker repurposing to be able to take a single test script and to be able to repurpose it to be a functional test, a load test, and a production monitor. And we include the Jasper Business Intelligence Analytics tools to be able to take all of those results and turn them into root cause analysis and mitigation reports. We're excited about TestMaker 6 and hope you are too. You can download and learn TestMaker 6 right now by visiting our website at www.push2test.com. I also invite you to attend an open source test workshop. This is a meetup of hundreds of testers about every 3 or 4 weeks. Information is available at workshop.push2test.com.